In the year 20...
Execute Order 66.
You are not prepared!
It's over 9,000! Hadouken!
You're listening to an Oddcast.
Welcome to What an Oddcast. I'm Jared Whittekheim, that's Anthony Denny, and Jeremy, the soldier, of course. Thank you for your fucking service.
It's never gonna get old.
To catch everyone else up, we were actually recording, and then everything kind of went black because of a technical malfunction, so we're restarting, so bear with us.
Like that opening intro was so gold.
I know, I'm very upsetty spaghetti. But with that, thank you to ArmorFlashcards.com for sponsoring today's episode, because, of course, we love that you're sponsoring us. And you can hear them at the beginning, what they're all about. So check them out, please, because, our first sponsor, we want to look good. So, last we left off, we had the 4 original zombie characters, Nikolai, Dempsey, Takio, and the insane and cruel Richtofen, traveling to the facility in the future of 1963, which in Black Ops 1 is the map Kino der Toten. They fight off hordes, they find a lunar lander. If you don't know what that is, please just go fucking look it up, because I felt like a fucking idiot when I was going to put in what it was, and I'm like, no, everybody should know what this is. If they don't, then what are you doing? So, but they fly off to the Ascension facility, and that's where we had left off. With that, I do want to clarify that whenever I say Ultimus, I mean these 4 characters, because in this timeline, that is what they are classified as. And again, once again, I have to say first off, just want to say, who the actual fuck flew and landed the lunar lander there, but didn't use it to escape? And Anthony, what did we come to the conclusion on that?
Horror movie logic.
It's horror movie logic. Just there's something scary happening, and instead of using the thing that could easily get you to safety, you fucking run into a building and die. It's fucking horror movie logic. It's just stupid.
There's zombies coming from the outside. Let's go onto the inside and be safe and board up the windows. They can't possibly take them down.
Yeah, there's no way we'll ever not survive. So, we get in the time machine. We set the time back a few short weeks in time before our group arrives at the Ascension facility.
We did the time warp.
We're not doing that. We're not gonna do this.
With the hop to the left.
God damn it! Cut him off.
I rolled in something really hard and pointy. Ow! That really hurt.
So did everybody else in prison.
So now, if you remember, and if you haven't, go back and listen to parts 2 and 1 to understand what we're talking about here anyway. But if you remember, Richtofen had lost his diary in the confusion, and the time jumped to Kino from the Derice facility, and the Russians found it. Because, why wouldn't they? So, the Ascension facility is built by Russian scientist Yuri Zavosky, who's been reading the diary, and of course, it's filled with all the secrets of Element 115 and the Agartha knowledge Richtofen had accumulated and acquired over his research years, which obviously is very fucking bad, and you shouldn't fucking read it. It's like picking up the Necronomicon and just being like, I'm gonna read a passage. No, because you're gonna release a fucking demon. You don't do that.
Do not. That's such a, no offense, but that's such a white person thing. Don't read from this book, or else terrible things will happen.
Oh yeah?
Read from this book.
If it was only white people doing that, then explain Leprechaun Back in the Hood.
I don't know. I've never seen that one or the sequel.
Wow.
Oh yeah?
But just to let you know, leprechauns are Irish, so white people problems. So the white people is harassing the black people.
Oh yeah? We'll explain Jordan Peele's Us or Get Out.
White people.
You know what? I think you're just racist.
Yeah, I think he's just racist too.
Just
I mean,
'cause
he
you're
did
my
shoot
little-
me in the back at close range with a paintball gun.
No, that had no racism behind it. That's just because you were one on the back. Hey, as the only brown person in our friends group, it would have had to have been a white person.
Just because you're my spicy little habanero. Just calm down.
All right, thank you, my I don't know, dusting of powdered sugar. I don't fucking know.
What? How does your fiance deal with you at this point? Like,
She normally rolls her eyes.
I was about to say, like, she's white too. Like, I feel so bad for her at this point. Like, she comes up with like a cute little nickname, like I just did, and then you're just like, yeah, something white, powdered sugar. Why not?
Normally, we're not really complimenting each other's race.
Wow. What kind of relationship? No, we're never. Never mind.
Wow.
So
let's just move on.
So Yuri's been reading this and establishing the Ascension facility with the Ascension research group. What are they doing at this research facility? Well, we're gonna get into that. Because of the knowledge and the contents of that fucking diary, as I said, it's like reading the Necronomicon. You don't fucking do it. You don't do it. Because as soon as he does, Samantha has basically a link to someone back on Earth, and she immediately corrupts his fucking mind and tricks his poor colleague, Dr. Gersh, into activating Project Mercury. Isn't that lovely?
What is Project Mercury?
Thanks, totally not rehearsed, man. What's Project Mercury, you ask?
I got it this time.
So that, my friends, is the Gersh device, a literal black hole device. In the game, you throw it down, makes a mini black hole, sucks zombies in, kills them. You can only get it from the mystery box on the Ascension map or Moon. So if you play the games, you know exactly what we're talking about. But it sucks zombies in, kills them instantly. Or if you happen to walk through it, it'll just teleport you away somewhere safe. So it's a very helpful little thing. I will say, added note here is that there have been plenty of times I played Ascension or Moon, and somebody threw that down, and somebody who was down decided, I'm just going to go away from all the groups of zombies, and they teleport away and die, because we can't get to them. So definitely not the first time I've seen that go horribly fucking wrong. Now when Gersh activates this device, this is where things get pretty fucky. Samantha begins to travel through from Moon back to Earth, so she has more influence with her undead plague. Gersh is pulled in and obliterated immediately, but his soul ends up being trapped in what is known as the Casimir mechanism. Yuri's absorbed and sent to the Pentagon, which we'll get to in a minute of why he's there. It's
maybe
a whole
5
thing.
minutes.
Shut up, Anthony. Shut up. Before we do that, let's explain real quick that the Casimir device is essentially a giant teleporter. It's based off the Casimir effect. Or if you're Anthony, you look up Kashmir, and it immediately tells you what you meant because you're a retard.
It was funny, and I feel like it's not so funny when you have to explain it.
Well, but it definitely was, because Anthony immediately was like, oh, the Kashmir effect. Let me look that up. Oh, Casimir. Oh. It didn't even...
Google doesn't fuck around.
Yeah, no, Google's immediately like, oh, is this what you mean, dumbass? But it's a bit complicated to explain. The simplest way is just two metal polarized plates that, in theory, create a pocket of space and time, allowing for faster-than-light travel. So a giant teleporter, just not as inaccurate as the one that they had originally made. These are the kinds of things they were making at the Ascension facility. Now, Dempsey makes a remark on this, cursing Gersh as they're going to free him, because he remembers that that's what they used to transfer him, Takeo, and Nikolai to Siberia, where Richtofen had experimented on them. This is where they start to get their memory back of what happened to them. He remembers that that's what we used to cause all of this bullshit to him. Now, Ultimus arrives at the Ascension facility those next few weeks after, On November 6th, 1963, the outbreak of the undead emerges, immediately just due to Samantha's presence being there, and Gersh begs the group to free him out of the Casimir mechanism. In the game itself, this is the entire Easter egg of the map. It's very tedious and a pain in the fucking ass, just like any fucking Easter egg. But the whole time, Gersh keeps telling you to hurry. You must hurry. She's coming. Meaning that Samantha's using the mechanism and the rift created from it to reach Earth and cause chaos.
You know, I was going to make a joke, but then I remembered Samantha's like 9.
What are you going to talk about? How you just want to get up in there and just...
No. I was going to make a coming joke, but she's 9.
I mean, she's 9 in body, but by this time she's technically 20 years old.
I don't give a damn about your anime logic. Oh, yes, I'm 100
she...
years old, but I have the body of a 12-year-old, so it's okay if we have sex. No, it's weird.
Well, I was going to say, because she gets trapped in the pyramid on the moon in 1945, but this is 1963, and then even further into the future, it's like 2025 or some shit. So, I mean...
Didn't you say that Garthan lives outside of reality, of time?
Yeah, Agartha does, yeah.
So, no, she's 9. I don't give a damn.
No, Anthony...
Does she have a body of a 9-year-old?
Well, 6-year-old, but yeah, I mean...
Oh, that's even better! No. There's no
Jeremy,
jokes.
do you have any way on this one?
No, I don't. I'm gonna stay out of your guys' little feud.
No, you don't have any... You don't have any say on the Sailor Moon logic here?
Well, the fact that you're watching Sailor Moon comes to question of your sexuality. I mean,
no, I watched it when I was a kid.
With yours?
Yeah, I was about to say, I watched it when I was a kid. I watched Powerpuff Girls when I was a kid too. It was just fun.
Well, that explains why you're always puffy.
Do you want me to sing you the Sailor Moon theme song?
Of, anything that's not guyish. We're gonna call you out right now.
You know, Jeremy?
If you're a homophobe, you're not welcome here at Oddcast. We appreciate everyone.
Hey, look, my father was a sailor, so technically homophobia runs in the family.
Oh! Thank you to today's sponsor, Army Tip Cards.
Yeah. Thank you to ArmyFlashcards.com for sponsoring today's
Army
episode.
Flashcards.
Anthony,
sorry,
it's
your
okay.
name.
So hold on. Before we move forward, even move forward, let me explain the logic behind that. I serve.
I don't think we want to.
I can make fun of the other branches. I serve in the Army. I can make fun of the other branches.
Can you, though?
But, yes, it is. Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Can you, though?
Yes, I can.
Is that a written rule somewhere?
Yeah, it is a unwritten rule between the military throughout all the branches. We can make fun of each other, but nobody else can.
Do they hand you a guidebook when you join? About whose dick to suck?
No, it's just kind of... Well, I mean, I'm not the one sucking dick. I already told you to wash your mouth out because I can still smell your breath through this mic.
Jeremy just likes to throw it around to hide the fact that he likes a little bit of pull on the side. But anyway, now while the group handles Samantha's spread of evil, while the group handles the Samantha spread of evil all throughout the Ascension facility, we're gonna travel over to the Pentagon for the map 5.
And just to inform those who haven't seen Call of Duty, who are the 4 characters we play in this 5?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Here, Nixon, JFK, Castro, and McNamara are in a meeting for a possible alliance between the U.S. and Cuba to fight back against Samantha's evil infection that seems to be destroying the world. But of course, an outbreak happens, and if you played the game as you play as one of the 4, blah blah blah, fight undead horde.
Player 2 is, I just remember player 2 is always McNamara, and he's like the unfun one to be. Like, no offense
because
to
no
McNamara,
one knew him.
Everyone else was way cooler.
Like, everyone knew Castro, JFK, and Nixon, and you get McNamara, and all of us would be like, who the fuck is this guy? I want to be Nixon.
If I'm remembering correctly, I could be wrong, but I think he was Secretary of Defense.
What?
All right, I gotta fucking look.
Oh, Anthony's gonna look it up because Is that right? I was pretty sure you were right.
McNamara. He was, the Secretary of Defense.
Yeah, that's what I thought. All right. Yeah, you were right. So yeah, that's all of them happen, and an outbreak occurs because who else was sent there but Yuri, of course. Yuri's sent to make sure that no one survives, so that there's no one to put any kind of cabal on what Samantha's doing. But while this happens, Ultimus, the original survivors, I'm just gonna, they manage to free Gersh, who sends them to their next destination before he travels space and time, because he doesn't have a fucking body anymore, so he just doesn't give a shit. With this happening, both outbreaks at Ascension and the Pentagon are both contained, and, well, Yuri's immediately arrested and questioned like some kind of Scooby-Doo fucking villain. It's kind of like the Scooby-Doo Live movie where they get rid of all the demons and ghosts, and then it's just Scrappy-Doo and the other dude get arrested. It's exactly what happens to poor Yuri. Go, zombies, get all of them. What did they call? Oh, hi, JFK. No, I wasn't doing it. No, what do you mean? Zombies? I've never seen them. I haven't seen them before in my life.
What is a zombie?
What is this kind of undead plague you speak of? So yeah, he just immediately arrested and thrown away.
Is it as sexually charged as
you fucking
the Scooby-Doo movie?
Dude, Nixon's wearing that thong. Did you want some of this, big boy? And he's, it's super sexual. Like, there's a lot of tension in there. I'm pretty sure at one point Castro gives a blowjob to somebody too. So I'm pretty sure there's a lot of sexual tension behind the scenes.
I think you downloaded the wrong story.
Did I?
I'm just saying.
Huh. So I shouldn't have gone to Pornhub to find it? I thought that's where everybody went.
No.
Give me those butt cheeks.
2 fingers on each hand.
Oh.
Do you think it ends with a headshot?
Oh my god. We're going to hell.
What about that cigar, though? I don't know about Robert McNamara.
I'll give you something better than my cigar to sucker. Well, we just made a porno, so anybody wants to buy those, buy that idea, feel free to contact us. We just wrote most of your dialogue.
I would love to see him go with that right. A serious question, though. Do porns have scripts?
Yeah. Yeah, they do, actually. Yeah, there's actually somebody who has to write the dialogue for a porn before they start fucking.
Step brother, stop playing. Can we just say those are fucking weird?
They really are.
Why is that such a big category? What the fuck?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
What's a big category?
Incest.
Fucking your stepsister.
Well,
yeah, like fucking your
Alabama has
stepmom,
increased
fucking
the
your
population.
dad, fucking your sister. Like, all that shit's super popular, and everybody keeps pointing it out, and I was like, people are going to like what they like.
I mean, I don't want to say it, but fucking white people.
I don't have a defense for that one. I don't. So,
all right, how about we just get off this weird, this is a deep hole that we're about to travel down.
Before we even get any deeper, let's climb the fuck out of this one and
we're
move
gonna
on.
all climb aboard the Oddcast bus, all down weird ass lane.
Where we
get ready to be feeling uncomfortable.
President fucking incest, and within 2 minutes.
I'm shutting this down. I'm stealing your shovels. We are done with this hole. Let's move the fuck on.
Now, if you thought the basis behind 5 being factored into the story arc is odd, it gets even fucking odder. Wink. Ultimus is... and this is how. So Ultimus is transported into a locked room at the back at the Siberian facility. Hey, Anthony, do you happen to know who happens to be there filming a movie?
Oh, are you talking about the classic George A. Romero?
Indeed. Call of the Dead map. That's where this
Wait.
picks up.
Let me try to think if I can remember. It's Michael Rooker, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Danny Trejo, and I don't remember the last one.
I am so ashamed of you. You are going to punch yourself when I get to... Well, you're going to punch yourself in a minute. So, yes, back here, George A. Romero's filming a new zombie movie. March 17th, 2011, Romero stumbles upon Group 935's research and begins reading through it because, once again, you find like a Necronomicon kind of thing, and you're like, why not? His cast, Sarah Michelle Gellar, you'll know as Buffy the Vampire Slayer, her most common thing people would know her by. Robert Englund.
Yep.
Also known as Freddy Krueger. Danny Trejo, Machete. And Michael Rooker, also Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy, or Merle from The Walking Dead.
He's also Mary Poppins.
Jesus Christ, Anthony. We're not doing this. We're not doing this.
We're doing this.
They're all attacked by the undead when Romero is turned into a zombie and an outbreak occurs.
Dude, can I just say, in the most polite way I can,
that it's all bullshit?
Fuck George A. Romero.
Fuck George A. Romero in this case.
Yes, in this case, because he is a fucking asshole.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, what's this Nazi research about zombies? I could use this for the movie, and then it, unleashes an undead plague. It happens. Anybody could do it. So the cast bands together, and they retrieve the Vril device that had been tucked away by Richtofen in the past, and they get it to Ultimus, who's then shot off to their next destination. Now, I know you're probably sitting there wondering, what the fuck happened to Romero and all of them? Nobody fucking knows. They just never come up again. So, did they survive? Did they die? They don't really tell you. The only thing that continues it is that his assistant, Sally, is teleported to Shangri-La. And she's stuck in a time loop while she tries to go through all the 935 notes and try to figure out how she can fix things. That's all they fucking mention for anything that happens in Call of the Dead. That is it. Just, you'll never see any of them again. So... Welcome to One-Offs in Video Games. So, now we have some more fun. Ultimus arrives in Shangri-La April 25th, 1953. They're jumping all over the place. And they're able to get help from two explorers, and the explorers are also trapped in the time loop. This is where, you battle undead hordes, you do the Easter egg of the map Shangri-La. Ultimately, the explorers help them find the focusing stone, which is something that's needed to help stop Samantha. So Richtofen takes that with the Vril device he now has, and decides that he's finally ready to go to Moon and stop Samantha once and for all. But here comes some fuckery that is so unneeded. Now, if you haven't played the map Shangri-La, or if you have, then you know exactly this. You can find a weapon called the 31-79 JGB-215. A shrink ray. It's a super fun gun, but that's something you can get on that map. Are you ready for the fuckery?
I'm always ready for fuckery and debauchery in general.
Dempsey, for some fucked reason, fires this while the group is teleporting. So once again, they end up off course and appear in the Pentagon, moments before Yuri arrives to release the undead in 1963.
Huh.
Way to go.
Just straight fuckery. They find their way out, and they travel to Groom Lake, Nevada, and they use a teleporter to blast off to Griffin Station. On October 13th, 2025, Ultimus arrives on Griffin Station on the moon to put an end to Samantha's reign of terror. FYI, this Easter egg takes fucking forever.
It does. The fucking moon? Like,
just powering the fucking pyramid alone takes fucking forever. But even worse than that, they make you do that fucking Simon Says bullshit to, like, even get to that point, and that's just fucking just ridiculous. Because you have to dance all over that fucking map to hit all the things in a precise order. That Easter egg's fucking bullshit. Like, if you manage to do it, you feel great. Because you have now spent probably a good, 4 hours doing it, so when you finally do complete it, you feel like a fucking master.
Dude, and fuck the cosmonaut on that.
Oh no, that guy fucking drives me insane. Because, you can kill him, but he just comes right back. He takes way too much fucking ammo, and he disorients you. Fucking.
And if he grabs you, he takes your fucking perk.
God. So.
And can I give you some flashbacks?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Excavators.
Wait, what?
Excavators.
Let's not go there. Let's not go back to that. So, with that, Ultimus is able to fully power the MPD, or the Agarthan Pyramid, where Samantha is revealed as the day she entered it in 1945.
So she's 6.
Yeah, she hasn't aged a day. Yeah, she's like 6 or 9, somewhere around there. So Richtofen uses a terminal. He uses a terminal near him to take that power flow to the Vril device and merge it with the focusing stone that he received in Shangri-La. Now Richtofen encounters Maxis because, jumping back to last episode, Maxi can turn into electricity, so that's how he'd been hiding on Griffin Station. He tries to stop Richtofen, but he cannot. So Richtofen achieves his ultimate goal. I just had to take a minute to swallow down the amount of evilness it takes from this man to fuck everybody over as bad as he does here. While his fellow survivors, Dempsey, Nikolai, and Takeo, fight off the undead hordes, Richtofen swaps his soul with Samantha to be inside the pyramid, and Samantha's soul is then swapped and trapped inside of Richtofen's body. And Richtofen gains full control, which is what he's been trying to do the entire time. Takeo, Dempsey, and Nikolai... Oh, yes.
How did they show that he takes total control?
The zombies' eyes change color. By Black Ops 2, their eyes change color, fully. Originally, their eyes are all, their eyes are all yellow. But then when you get into, Black Ops 2 territory and he's in control, they're all blue to say that Nikolai's the one controlling them. Anyway. Takeo, Dempsey, and Nikolai, realizing that Richtofen's fucking evil and it needs to be stopped, decide and agree to help Maxis stop him. In this, the 3 launch missiles to Earth to sever his link with Earth and the Aether. But of course, this is completely done in haste, and no one does the correct calculations, leading to a catastrophic destruction where Earth becomes shattered. Now, this is going to be confusing, because this is where the 2 different timelines start to mix together. Or I should say multiple timelines start to mix together. The survivors that we meet in Black Ops 2, which are completely different characters, help Maxis complete his ultimate plan. And their timeline's called Victus. We'll get to that at a later date, because there's a lot of shit that we're not going to cover here because there's just way too much shit. So this is just covering these main guys. So while Ultimus is dealing with how to, Earth's blown up, Richtofen's in control. What do we do? the other survivors manage to help Maxis gain power, and he becomes corrupted by dark Aether. What does Maxis do, you might ask? Well, I'm glad
What
you
does
asked.
Maxis do?
Well, I'm glad you asked, little boy. Maxis decides to go all the way to the moon, where he plucks Samantha's soul out of Richtoven's body, and then just straight leaves for Agartha, paying no fucking mind to anything else going on.
Like, oh, look at this little girl in the man's body. Get that shit out
All
of
right,
there.
now quickly, help me get my daughter. Thank you. Flies to the moon. Ah, there you are. Oh, this looks fucked. Good luck. Just dips.
Peace, bitch.
Wonderful father.
Father of the year.
In that time, he is Father of the Year. You know, he manages to take his daughter away from all the chaos and is like, you know what, fuck this, we're gone. But this leaves...
Jared, what is Project Mercury?
I hate you, Anthony, so much. But this leaves Richtoven's body in a coma state because he has no fucking soul, because obviously Richtoven's in the fucking pyramid, in a little girl's body. Every pervert's dream. So
Dude,
now
he's gonna get his first period. It's gonna be weird.
I was waiting to see which one of
Again.
you was gonna go there.
I'm taking your shovels. Let's get the fuck out of this hole and move the hell on.
But we need to figure out, how does she go through puberty, Jeremy? How will we
I
ever know if we don't answer that question?
Viewers don't need to hear about this. Let's just.
But
I'm taking your shovel. get the
Inquiring
fuck out of
minds
this
want to know.
hole. You can.
Well, it's
you
not
can
she.
learn
It's a he. It's a like 30-year-old man.
It's an it. Let's move on.
Well, now back to our main storyline. Ultimus, now containing Takeo, Nikolai, and Dempsey, and, the coma state Richtofen body, are teleported back to Groom Lake in 1963, where they're immediately captured by the remnants of Group 935, who sedate them and begin to experiment on them in Hangar 4.
Again.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad we got that. What the fuck? And then they just immediately start getting tested out again. Like, there's no escaping it.
Man, that would have been a great zombies level where there's 3 people who can play and then one person's just a body sleeping.
Now, several months pass by, and once again we have the mixing of timelines, because an undead Richtofen appears out of the teleporter and merges himself with the coma Richtofen, awakening him from the coma, basically swapping souls. Now, the 2 timelines of the 2 separate versions of our characters merge together in this final act. Primus is the second timeline version of our boys. They appear in Hangar 4 and save the original survivors, or Ultimus, and explain the events to come, which is what you basically, like, this is how we're going to stop what happened, this is how we're going to fix it. Nikolai has become the leader of the Primus group, because really their Richtofen was the one that was zombified, because he died.
And also, if I'm remembering correctly, that Nikolai doesn't drink.
I believe that's right. I believe that Nikolai doesn't drink, but
Alcohol
our
will-
original guy,
Alcohol
What?
does terrible things to you. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, the
doesn't
Nikolai
drink
of the second timeline isn't a complete drunk like the first one.
He doesn't have to wear
Look.
diapers.
Alcohol fixes outside boo-boos. It must fix inside boo-boos.
All right, whatever. So,
You drink that isopropane. Isopropane.
so Nikolai has become the leader in the Primus group. He tells the others of a great war that's coming, and before they also teleport away to carry out their own plan. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the original character story arc. We'll come back to this at a later point and cover over the many other fucking things that they've done with this. But this is the storyline from Black Ops 1, and I believe the way this ends is like Black Ops 3 or 4, where they finally tie it back in to the originals. But this is World at War, Black Ops 1, and Black Ops 2, mostly.
But Jared, where does Mob of the Dead fit in?
That's a Black Ops 2 map. We'll get to that with the other surviving characters, because that's a whole nother story shit.
Well, that was
Yeah.
fucking
So
a
that's all.
long-ass fucking thing.
yeah, so that's all the stuff that us three grew up with, from World at War to Black Ops 1. That's basically the storyline that we started with. Then the very end of it, that's when they start mixing in the shit they did way later on, to tie it back in. But most of that's all the stuff that we grew up with. But that's the actual story to it. It's more that, instead of just fighting zombies in endless waves, that's the actual story behind it. And we'll cover over the other shit that they've done with it at a later date, because there's a ton more we can do with it. So, So thank you for joining us on this 3-parter.
Yes, thank you.
With that, guys, I just want to have a quick discussion here. First off, I covered over a guy on the last Fireside that I just wanted to cover over with you guys real quick. I want to see if you agree. I found the Fireside Person of the Year.
Ooh, who's this?
Huh?
A random everyday Joe who, instead of refilling his soda with a normal cup, he refilled it with a KFC chicken bucket and said, "Fuck it."
The fuck?
Oh yeah, they're like, oh yeah, well, refills and whatever. So I know I do. It's like, oh, I can refill. I'm gonna refill my cup. Well, he said, "Fuck you." Apparently, there was like a whole thing with like, oh, if you want to blah blah blah, you have to pay extra. So he decided, fuck it, and got his free refill with his KFC bucket that he emptied out as a big fuck you.
I mean, technically, with unlimited free refills, I would say you could fill up with everything you want.
That man's running on a genius level we've never seen.
Dude, he's living the year 3020.
Actually, no. There was a guy down here in Florida, man.
Of course it was Florida.
Yeah, of course it'd be Florida.
There was a promotional for one of the gas stations where if you bought a cup, you could refill it, and then if you got your ticket or whatever that they use for refills and all that, you could bring in another cup that was either bigger or equal size to the cup that you currently have and refill it for free. So some guy did that, and then he came in with a giant 150-gallon trash can and filled it up.
Florida
what the fuck
man,
do you expect from
Florida
that?
man.
It's like when people, the free Slurpee day. You bring whatever container. Someone brought in a kiddie pool once.
Next time on Florida Man, I'm gonna take this here gator. He's gonna be my new watchdog.
That's already happened.
On Florida Man.
That's already happened.
Oh my God.
There's a biker that has a pet gator, and it rides around with him on his motorcycle.
Can I say that's a very stupid and dangerous animal to have? Like, you're
Those
asking to
things
die.
I mean, they're fun to wrestle. I mean, don't get me wrong, because I've done it.
Once again, we want to clarify that Jeremy lives in Florida.
Those things.
In case you haven't been able to tell.
Look,
Jeremy, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Because how's the iguana problem going on? How's that going?
That's in southern Florida, and it's open season on iguanas. So you see an iguana, you can kill it, and you don't have to have a license.
Can I use a crossbow?
You can use a crossbow, a knife, a BB gun.
BB gun?
What if we grab it by the tail and whip? Like how you kill a snake.
That's considered animal cruelty. You can't do that. It's considered animal cruelty.
But it's perfectly fine if I want to go out with my knife.
I can use my BB gun. That'll kill it in one shot.
Actually, down here we have high-powered BB guns that we can actually purchase at Walmart. So yeah, we can.
Only in Florida, where they just don't give a shit about anything.
Do you live in the Panhandle, Jeremy?
Huh?
You live in the Panhandle?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but I feel like Florida just stopped giving a shit a long time ago.
Dude, I'm saying we cut Florida. We just take it. We take a really big knife and just straight across, and we send it towards Cuba. Problem solved.
I think Florida would overrun Cuba at this point. Like, I think they're crazy enough to overrun Cuba.
You mean New Florida?
Are you challenging me, bro?
Well, I mean, every day I see something new about Florida. It seems like it's mostly fueled on meth. Just
that
kidding.
sounds
We
about
love you,
right, yeah.
Florida. If you're listening from Florida, we love you. We're only making fun.
My fellow Floridians, fuck you all.
Floridians.
Floridians. What
Dude,
a
I just
loser.
it's so sometimes the words that people say are so dumb, like a Michigander.
I was just
know what?
about to say, like, at least he's not a Michigander.
Yeah, no, you see, I'm a Michigoose because ganders are female.
I'm a Nebraska.
Well, at least we summed that up. You're a Nebraskan?
Yeah.
No, you're a corn.
Don't even start with me. All right. Don't even start with me. I can't. Just can't.
Well, you don't like to be a Husker?
So go check out armyflashcards.com. They sponsor today's episode. We're super thankful for that. We have a couple more sponsors coming up in later episodes, so keep your ears open for things that we have going on there. But yeah, thank you to all of that. And you've been listening to What an Oddcast. As I said, we'll bring more zombie stuff later because there's definitely more. It's just way too much to cover. It'd be like a 50-part thing. So I'm going to break it up into different chunks. So.
Well, before we go ahead and close this out, I do want to remind all of our audience that it is the holiday season and suicide is at its highest during this holiday season.
Let's bring up in a series full of people just killing themselves or getting ripped apart by zombies.
Hold on.
Don't kill yourself out there.
Hold on. So it is the holidays season, and this is when suicide rates actually skyrocket. And I highly recommend that if you do have anybody that you know that has served and that has been overseas and has seen combat, go ahead and invite them to your family gathering and make sure that they're doing all right. And just let them know that you still appreciate their service and still appreciate all that they have done and sacrificed so that way you can enjoy your holiday season.
Thank you for your service, Jeremy. And thank you for that wonderful, heart-filled message that no one can laugh at because it's super serious.
Jared's just an asshole. We all know this, okay?
See, he can laugh at it because he's depressed as well.
Yeah. It's all right. We have an
Thank you for that
intervention
super
scheduled for him
heartfelt
directly after this. So,
thank you for that heartfelt moment there, Jeremy. I had something caught in my nose.
It wouldn't happen to be your pencil thin dick, right?
A fucking bitch. Oh, shit.
Keep it up, Jeremy. I'll beat you to death with my hammer. So, you can catch us at Oddcast on Twitter. We have the Oddcast Media at gmail.com. We have Oddcat Network, Facebook, and YouTube. So catch us there. Check us out. Or patreon.com/Oddcast. Help support the show. And also check out our sponsor, armyflashcards.com. Help check them out. Help support the show. And check out the other podcasts we have. We have Fireside Chat with Jokey Pants every weekend, and now there's going to be the new Tech Podcast, hopefully every Wednesday, depending right now. And then you can catch us every Monday and Thursday, or Tuesday, Friday morning, depending on when you listen. But thank you guys for coming in, and thank you all for listening up to this third-parter. I know it was the longest thing that we've done. It was a bit of an ambitious thing for us to do. And, yeah, so anything else you guys have any recommendations, anything like that?
What is the Mercury Project?
God damn it.
So I'm going to just come out and say this. I'm sorry, it's classified.
Oh, so they are working on that.
I'm sorry, it's classified. Cannot confirm nor deny. But then again, I don't work on that project. Hooray!
So I do actually have a recommendation for everyone. Casey,
flashcards.
No, I'm not gonna plug it again. I'll be nice. But I do actually have a recommendation. Depending on if you've seen it or not. Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell. Go check that out, because it's funny. I enjoy it. It's fun. All about demons and sucking at their job and whatnot. It's a fun show. They're not very long, so you can probably burn through it rather quickly compared to other things. But it's fun. Go check that out. Trying to think. I watched something else, and now I'm totally drawing a blank on.
Oh, I have a recommendation.
Oh, what do you have?
Internet, because wow, it is so hard to live without it. Trust me.
I live without it, and look how well I did.
Oh, well, you're wrestling with alligators. I don't know if you're the best representation.
Oh, great. I'm going to be a skinny fuckboy.
As we see Jeremy here. He has no internet, so he's now traveling through the bayou, wrestling alligators for entertainment.
You can get death row by a crocodile.
Oh, that's about a 5-footer right there.
I hear you telling that little 5-footer ain't gonna do shit, and what you gotta do right there is you gotta go and find yourself a goddamn 12-footer, because goddamn 12-footer's gonna do about much better. Start to freeze you, that's what it'll do, just there in time for a window, yep.
Update, Jeremy's just been released from the show.
And with that, you all have a nice day. Remember, hydrate or dihydrate.
Dihydrate or hydrate, and always catch us on all of our stuff and our social media. And check out armyflashcards.com, or I'll fucking kill you. Just kidding. Just kidding. Love you all.
And remember, knowledge is power.
No, it's not. Goodbye.